Good morning. Warren County Fiscal Court, Thursday, June 11th, 2026 is now called to order. And we're pleased to have Pastor Scott Thomas from Triumph Baptist Church is with us today to lead us in invocation. And then followed by a pledge to the flag by Esquire Tom Lawrence.
Thank you. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for another great day. Thank you for your opportunity to let us meet together once again and just handle proceedings of this county and this city. Lord, thank you so much for all that you do for us. And I pray your blessing on what we do today. I pray you bless the proceedings, give wisdom, discernment, judgment, all those things that are necessary just to accomplish what's needed today. Lord, I pray you just put your hand of favor on what we do today. May we honor you, and we thank you in advance for all you're going to do, because we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Please stand, face the flag, and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Here.
Esquire Aldridge.
Here.
Esquire Lasley.
Here.
Esquire Cummings.
Here.
Esquire Williams.
Here.
Esquire McWhorter.
First item is approved minutes of the fiscal court meeting on May 28th, 2026. Motion by Squire Williams, second by Squire Lasley. Any corrections? Not, please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 5 is approved personnel changes for Warren County.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 6, approve the work schedule for the Warren County Road Department. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're going to take a short break from our agenda. We've got a presentation to make today. Amanda is with us today, but so is Ashley. But Amanda with Kids on the Block, and Ashley, whoever wants to come up, we'll talk with whoever. So.
All right. Good morning. So my name is Amanda Guerra. I am the Director of Programs and Lead Puppeteer at Kentucky Kids on the Block. We wanted to first of all thank you all for your support of our programs over the years. And we also wanted to share a little bit about the impact that these programs have made in our community. So I have a personal story. We had presented our child abuse prevention programs at TC Cherry. Following that, we got a call from the counselor letting us know that they had 2 children come forward and disclose that they had been abused as a result of our programs. Those 2 children were from the same family, but they separately disclosed to separate teachers at the school. They were being sexually abused. Following that, those children were taken from the home. And then we later found out that those children, after being taken from the home, they were thriving now. Their grades had improved. They had no more behavioral issues. And that really does show the impact that our puppets can have on children.
Hi, I'm Amber Wisdom. I am puppeteer and marketing assistant. And one experience that's really stuck with me since I've been with Kids on the Block is we were at Jody Richards preparing programs, and the special education class had come in. And we were doing our Accepting Differences program that day, and we invited them to stay. Of course, there they have children with different disabilities and differently abled, some in wheelchairs. Our Accepting Differences program has those kinds of disabilities represented. And so the kids, they got to stay and watch the program, and afterwards they got to meet the puppets, and just watching them, the joy in their faces, and to see them know that they were represented just really stuck with me and reminds me why what we do matters.
Hello, I am Sarah Kitchens. I'm the Grants Manager and Executive Assistant at Kids on the Block. So we were, the first year that I started, we were at a fundraiser, and a grandma came up to the table where I was with 4 or 5 of her grandchildren, and she comes up to me and tells me that one of her granddaughters had been experiencing sexual abuse for several years, and following one of our programs, she finally got the courage to tell her grandma and was removed from the situation. And she gives me a big hug, and I hug her back, and we're both, trying to fight back the tears. And her story really puts into perspective the impact of why what we do matters.
So I just wanted to share those stories just because, a lot of times I'm out in the community, but they're the ones that truly hear the impact and they see firsthand the power of the puppets. A lot of people know that we are educational and also entertaining, but it also changes lives. Prevention is our main tool always. We're always trying to make sure that we prevent child abuse, we prevent bullying, prevent suicide, we prevent mental health issues, but of course we always get the disclosures, and that those are the stories that we can always present most readily to you all to show the huge impact. We do try to get in every single school, public and private, in Warren County. We were in every public school in Warren County this past school year except one. Sometimes there's always that one that snow scheduling, and that school will probably tell you that we are trying to beat down their door to make sure we get in this school year. We impact over 30,000 kids per year, but charity starts at home, and we always make sure that Warren County is served the strongest. We always try to make sure that we respond to every community event, every school that needs us, and we never charge the local schools. The local community events always get the free programs because of you all, and of course the fiscal court supports us, but many of you all support us as individuals and with your companies and emceeing our events and doing all types of things for us. So just want to thank you all so much. Every year there's just, I keep on thinking things are going to be better, and things do get better in terms of, I think kids are getting kinder and kids are getting more empathetic, but the needs just continue to grow. Amanda has just led the charge to revamp our multiculturalism program. That's a program that wasn't really, that didn't really have a lot of interest last 10 years ago. Now there's a huge interest from counselors about the multiculturalism program. And then the cyber bullies program is huge. And we just got to know that, each of us are making a difference and, trying to improve the quality of life for these kids so they can grow up and be happy, healthy, functioning adults. And my short story, I was teaching kids yoga a year ago, and a parent walked up to me and said, I just want to let you know that I was going through something really difficult when I was, when I was 8 years old. I was going through something really difficult, and the puppets changed my life, and I just had to believe that she was bringing her child to that yoga class, and she was a wonderful parent because she had intervention early. So thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. And Amanda, we appreciate you coming. What a fantastic world it would be if you didn't exist. And you didn't exist because we didn't need kids on the block. But unfortunately, we live in a broken world, and so we are thankful for the partnership that we have and continue to have, but we're thankful for the impact that you're making in our community. It does make it a much better place, and so thank you to everyone. If you can pass that on to the board and that. And Ashley, please, these fundraisers, I'll come, but don't ask me to do all that stuff again, so it's good. So all good. So thank you all so very much for coming today. All right. Back to our agenda. Item 7 is approved second and final reading of ordinance 2614, approving the annual budget and appropriations for fiscal year 26-27 for Warren County. Motion by Squire Williams, second by Squire Lastly. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
ma'am.
Item 8 is approve the updated receipt for transferring delinquent property tax bills from the sheriff to the county clerk. There were 99 timely postmarked real estate bills received and 4 timely postmarked tangible bills received, resulting in a change to the number of certificates of delinquency as well as to the amount due at the time of transfer. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Item 9 is approve emergency determination in the amount of $4,110 to Stuart Ritchie Service Group for an emergency plumbing repair for a collapsed drain line in the kitchen at the jail.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 10 is approve the Kentucky Department of Correction inspection for the main jail and the restricted custody center from May 6, 2026.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Lasley. Discussion or questions? By the way, Jailer Harmon is at a conference right now, not with us, but another great inspection we had. Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
ma'am.
Item 11 is approve the memorandum of agreement with the Kentucky Department of Military Affairs and the Kentucky Division of Emergency Management Urban Search and Rescue Program and authorize the judge executive to execute all related documents. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Item 12 is approve a change order in the amount of $30,274.65 to Sunbelt Construction for the Sugar Maple Square renovation. Motion by Squire Lasley, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Item 13 is approve service agreement with Pi Barker Fire and Safety for the courthouse camera system in the amount of $48.60 per month for 36 months. This is the contracted vendor. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
ma'am.
Item 14 is approve the U.S. Bureau of Prisons inspection report from May 2026. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
ma'am.
Item 15 is approve the lease agreement with Enterprise Fleet for two 2027 Ford F-250 trucks for Parks and Rec in an amount not to exceed $1,200 per month for 60 months each. These will be fitted with snow plows and salt spreaders for winter snow removal, and this is the contracted vendor. Motion by Squire Williams, second by Squire Lasley. Discussion or questions? Please call roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 16 is approve the lease agreement with Enterprise Fleet for two 2026 Chevy Colorado trucks for Parks and Rec in an amount not to exceed $600 per month for 60 months, and this is the contracted vendor. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Williams. Discussion or questions? Please call roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 17 is approve emergency determination amount of $6,987.61 to Ed's Supply of Bowling Green for a new Mitsubishi mini split AC unit for the dispatch area of Sugar Maple. Motion by Squire Lasley, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? I know the dispatchers will be happy with that, Sheriff. Please call roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
ma'am.
Item 18 is approve the grant application from the Kentucky Department of Agriculture for the Bowling Green Warren County Humane Society's Spay Neuter Program and authorize the judge executive to execute all related documents. Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Williams. Discussion or questions? Please call roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
ma'am.
Item 19 is approved determination amount of $5,070.05 to Affordable Funeral Supply for the purchase of a mortuary stretcher for the Warren County Coroner. 3 quotes were obtained. This was the lowest and best. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion? Please call roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams. Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 20 is approved first reading of ordinance 2615 relating to the annual budget and amendment thereof. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 21 is grant judge executive authority to execute the 2026 Burn JAG grant and all related documents for the benefit of the Drug Task Force. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 22 is approve the 211 report for May 2026.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Lasley. Discussion, please call the roll.
Just good to see the numbers down a little bit from
Yes,
what they have been.
that report that we get from well, thank you for doing that, from United Way on the 211 is an important bellwether for the community, and some of those numbers are coming down, so that is a great thing that this court has entertained for the last 8 years, so thank you for those comments. Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 23 is approve the annual standing order for fiscal year 26-27. That's a motion by Squire Lasley, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion, please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Item 24 is approved determination amount of $4,525 to Connexus for AlertSense iPause Premier Software 12-month renewal for emergency management. This is a single source vendor that we use. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 25 is approve the 2026 budget amendment for the Warren County Sheriff's Office. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 26, approve determination amount of $7,300 to A2B Contracting for replacement of the vinyl siding and gutters on the chapel at Griffin Park. 3 quotes were solicited, 2 were obtained. This was the lowest and best. Motion by Squire Lasley, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 27 is approved determination amount of $28,650 to Newcastle Fence for replacement of a dilapidated fence at the football field at Griffin Park. Chris, did you put that verbiage in there? Thankfully, it's dilapidated before we could do it. 3 quotes were obtained. This was the lowest and best bid. Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Lasley. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 28 is approve the lease agreement with Enterprise Fleet for a 2027 Ford F-450 flatbed truck for parks in an amount not to exceed $1,550 per month for 60 months. Motion by Squire Williams, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 29 is approved determination amount of $3,808.88 to Ryder Transportation Services for truck rental for election setup. Single source due to Ryder being the only company able to provide trucks with the needed lift decks in the time frame needed. Motion by Squire Williams, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Item 30 is approved determination amount of $257,078.78 to McNeil and Company for fire and emergency services insurance renewal as the contracted vendor. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. We'll say that, as you saw in your packet, is up approximately $31,000 from last year. McNeil, who we went with last year for the first year, and about 3 months into it, we lost a $400,000 wrecker on the interstate. Not to our fault, but those are things that that don't help your insurance rates, that's for sure. But it also does speak to the inherent dangers of our firefighters and what they go through. So, any other questions? Please call roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 31 is approve the lease agreement with Enterprise Fleet for a 2027 Ford F-350 cargo van for the Parks Mobile Rec Unit in an amount not to exceed $1,350 for 60 months. Motion by Squire Lasley, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 32 is approved determination amount of $4,802.87 to 911 Fleet and Fire Equipment for turnout gear for Warren County Fire Department system, and this is under the state price contract. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Item 33 is approve order 2620 declaring surplus property for the Parks Department. Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Lasley. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 34 is approve order 2621 appointing Christina Sanders to the Warren County Public Library Board of Trustees. Christina is replacing Beth Schaefer, whose term expired, and Beth was a fantastic board member for the library. Ms. Sanders is an educator here in town, and she'll do a great job as well. Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Lasley. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Item 35 is accept and award the following annual material bids for Warren County for fiscal year 26-27. 2601 is aggregate materials, and that's to Martin Marietta and Heidelberg Materials. 2602 is emulsified asphalt materials. 2603 is metal drainage pipe, that's to Hagen and Stone and Bowling Green Steel. 2605 is gasoline and diesel, it's to Valor Oil. 2606 tree trimming to Runner's Tree Service, Willis Tree Service, Cut Clean in Between, and the Tree Company, and A&G Tree Service. 2607 is bituminous asphalt, that's Scotty's Contracting and Stone. And 2609 is pre-made cold mix asphalt, and that is to Flynn Brothers.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter. We appreciate everyone's interest in those bids for the road department. Extremely looking forward to working with all those vendors. Any other questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 36, accept negotiated bid for signs from Econo Signs and make part of the annual materials bid. No responsive bids were received, so negotiated procurement process was used. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 37 is approve resolution 2605 awarding a non-exclusive franchise for a term of 10 years for a cable system within the confines of the Warren County, Kentucky to Spectrum Mid-America LLC. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, before we get to our last item, we've got a few things to discuss about that, and then we'll do that. But at this time, I want to speak to a little bit about the history of where we are and what's happening there. So I've got some good news for the citizens of Bowling Green and Warren County. I think most people have some significant concerns about data centers and the issues that they pose, and these are all, those concerns have not been on deaf ears for sure. So for the last 8 months, this community with our Planning and Zoning Commission have worked diligently to find a way to walk through this process, and here is our version of that people are taking a look at right now, and this is truly a policy to protect our citizens in this great community. So I want to just share with you how things have worked in the past. We are not one, from an economic development standpoint, to be so concerned with how other people are doing it. We have, for many years, for 40 years now, we have worked diligently to bring the best things to this community. And by doing that, we have so many great things that have happened, whether that's the Corvette Museum or the ballpark, but most importantly as well as the Kentucky Trans Park. It is the crown jewel of economic development efforts in this entire Commonwealth. It is highlighted by every elected official from every party about the success, and currently there's 4,000 families that are being fed from jobs at that trans park. So a lot of hard work's gone into that, but we want to protect that as well. So here's where we are right now, and I want to share this with people because there's a lot of misinformation, and people sometimes don't actually, and it's okay, it's not what they do, understand how things work. First of all, before I get into that about planning and zoning, there's about 20 communities and cities in Kentucky that have planning and zoning. And I'm not going to talk about anyone, but I will tell you it takes you 5 minutes driving in another county and you can tell if they have planning and zoning. I shouldn't say it. I should say this, but I shouldn't say the rest of it, but you'll know me. I say pretty much whatever's on my mind. So my wife's from Barberville. Yes, I do. Sorry, Amy. My wife's from Barberville in Knox County. I would welcome you to drive to Barberville and Knox County, and you can find out what happens when a community doesn't invest in themselves and doesn't think it's appropriate to have planning and zoning. I'll just ask you to take a road trip and see what you think. So, as the regulations are right now, we have the future land use map. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but we have residential, we have multifamily, we have heavy industrial, we have light industrial, we have all kinds of different zoning regulations. And so again, there is a big push around America for data centers. We're very well aware of that and have been for the last 5 years. But it's really ramped up, and it's been an interesting perspective to us, but it hasn't ramped up in the last 4 weeks. And if you just are thinking that in the last 4 weeks, then I would say it's something we've been working on for quite a while because we understand what's happened. And one thing we've done has taken a look across America at how people are messing this up. So as I said, many communities, including just about everyone around us, has no planning and zoning. So they don't have restrictions, they don't have industrial, they really leave that up. They leave that up to individuals, and they leave it up to elected people by case to see if they want to go to this or do that, rather than having that framework that's in place that we've had for decades. There's no utility use requirements, there's no land. If someone wants to sell enough land and sounds like a good deal, these things happen, and that's what you're seeing not only across America, but within 40 air miles of where we're sitting right now. Should be a concern to everyone here, but also everyone online. So for the last 8 months, our Planning Commission, I want to thank Ben Peterson and Rachel Hurt and that entire staff, who then has a board of directors who oversees this, at the direction of the city and the county and the chamber, have been working diligently of how do we protect our community. And so the goals of this have been from day one, not only protect the residents, but also protect our infrastructure. There's a finite amount of anything. And the last thing we're going to do is affect future growth. Many of you hopefully heard about a small project that we did through Warren County called BG 2050. Now, I will say to you, with over 1 million votes on what people wanted in this community, no one said, if I could have my choice of what I want in the future, would be to have 15 data centers, shockingly. Okay, I'm gonna stop with the sarcasm, Amy. I know she's looking at me that way. So no one said that, but that is factual. So, but what we also want to do is protect our culture and way of life. We have a great community here. And I will tell you right now, there's not much anyone in this room, hopefully you're all Warren County residents, by the way. If you're not, I appreciate you coming, but we're not gonna share too much with you. But if you're a Warren County resident, you should know. Factual. But if you're a Warren County resident, you should know that we're all in this together. And how do we continue to have the greatness that this community always exudes? So here's how we started that. So 8 months ago, we met with the CCPC as a City County Planning Commission and proactively designing standards that would fit this community. By doing that, you don't just reinvent the wheel, you also take a look at the rest of the state and the rest of the country and communities around us, and you find out what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. And unfortunately, a lot of people are doing things wrong. So that's facts. And then we, as we always do, learn how to rise above. Now, I will tell you, I unapologetically say, we're not going to look to other communities from an economic development or quality of life thing to say, how can we be more like them? We have always been in front, and we want to be that way because we're all Warren Countyans. We want to be the best it can be. So there's a couple options. The first one is, and I'm going to now explain this, a moratorium, which we hear much about. This is how Warren County retreats. So there's a couple things that happen with this, and it sounds, to be honest with you, it sounds like what a great thing that would be. We should just have a moratorium and no more of these data centers. So there are a couple issues with that. The first one is an easy one. The first one is economic development. The way that does work is there's site selectors. We never talk with the end user until we get a little farther down the road, but someone comes and says, I have an aluminum factory that wants to employ 300 people and X amount, do you have room? Maybe we can work something out. We'll talk about that. The city, the county, the chamber, our paid economic development staff works through the details to see if that's even appropriate. When we say we don't want an entire industry, then they're saying thank you for your time, and that message resonates throughout the country. Don't go to Bowling Green because they are against, they're not for business. Now I want to tell you right now, I'm not for any of that, but what I'm going to tell you is we're not putting a closed sign on there. The other thing that I'm going to share with you is I believe right now, a moratorium is one of the most reckless things I've ever heard in my life. And this is why. And so now everyone can understand what we're about. We have planning and zoning. We already have heavy industrial use. Old regulations, existing. New regulations, tightening that. We don't go forward, we have the old regulations. So guess what a moratorium says, hey, we're not going to do any data centers. 6 months, a year. Well, I'm a little surprised people haven't been studying this for a lot longer than that. Doesn't matter, 3 months, 6 months, a year. I want to share with you that no one's talking about. Old regulations. Someone that owns a building today in heavy industrial could be today selling that private company to a data center, and there's not one thing anyone in this community can do about it. Not one. So it doesn't matter about all of the things, we would all be upset. It's private property. And it's the thing that's not being said that's disappointing to me, because I want to be methodical. I want to protect all this court wants to protect the community, wants to do things right. But I will tell you right now, if we just stop what we're doing because it feels good to us, I don't trust. I shouldn't say that. Let me think of a better way, but I already said it. A company that's not doing as well, that owns a large building, for instance, in a heavy industrial, they don't have to get it rezoned. The rules we have in place say that the Corvette plant is the same thing as a data center, as the same thing as an aluminum plant. They're heavy industrial. There's not one thing. And I know no one's thought about this, and it's okay. We have thought about it significantly, like that's why today is about protection. It's not about doing that. And the final thing I will share on that slide is, when you have planning and zoning and then say, I don't want this, best of luck in court. You will lose. This community will lose. I don't think we should have chiropractors. Does anyone think that would be acceptable in court, to pick an industry and discriminate against? No. But what you do is you tighten your regulations to help make those decisions a lot easier. Now, we want to do it legally. We want to do that the right way. And I sure don't want to go to court and lose, and then here we are, i.e. 40 miles from here. All right. Option 2, we lead like we always have. No one's protecting residents' land use and culture like us. That is what this is about. We set the standard. We're not going to sit back and allow this to be taken over. But it's why these standards, they make it hard on people, and I completely understand it, but it's why we're number 1 in economic development and number 1 in quality of life. We don't allow just to be run over. So we are going to engage, negotiate, and protect our community, and we'll do it from a position of strength, not fear. Now I want to talk about the standards of what this ordinance says, and I will tell you right now, Bowling Green and Warren County are going to have the gold standard of ordinances for data centers in America, not in Kentucky, because I'm going to share with you something we're doing that everyone wished they would have put in place. There's clear requirements for location, can only be in certain areas, design, utility protections, decommissioning. And I'm going to talk about that in a second, that no one else has. Here's some of the variances. 500-foot setback from property lines, 1,500 feet from homes, schools. This is how you limit considerably. Design, this might not sound interesting to you, but if you've been to other communities like we have and seen, they just look like some old warehouse or something. Street-facing sides must look like office buildings, not some industrial, nameless, faceless building on the side. Loading and unloading must be on the side or rear, and must use anti-glare materials. But those are fine. Here is where the difference is. The utility protections, infrastructure plans with the utility company sign off, and I have some friends here who are going to speak to this in a second. That means all the way from TVA to Texas Gas on power and gas to our local utilities sign off on their completion plan about who's paying for that, and no impact to ratepayers or current future capacity. I will tell you, TVA has changed their policy that any of these have to 100% pay for all infrastructure upgrades and have to be direct served from TVA. It does not go through BGMU or Warren Rural Electric. This is the difference right here. This is one of the main differences, and I am proud of Planning Commission for this hard work we've done, the decommissioning. So decommissioning, and many of you have heard about from solar farms to other things, a lot of things I don't think we need to have, but let's assume there's a 30,000 square foot building that's full of computers that are storing data and they go out of business. This happens in many communities, and all of a sudden someone's stuck with, now they have a 200,000 square foot building and they're stuck with that. They're out of business or done. You cannot throw away. You got my main man, Lawrence White here, solid waste coordinator. So if you're doing this, you need to stop too. You can't throw your computer and screens in our landfills. It's illegal. But then communities never thought about this, and then these people leave town, and here we are. And then we're on the hook for cleaning it up. They have to have an approved decommissioning plan, and if that plan says it's going to cost them $22 million to remove that equipment safely, then they have to carry a bond for $22 million the entire time they're in business. I'm sharing with you right now, this is the gold standard of America, not of Bowling Green, not of Kentucky. Everyone and their brother now is calling us to ask what this ordinance says. I'm very proud of it because this is how you protect a community. And so I want to thank again the hard work that's gone into that. It's a small thing, but it's important. So again, very quickly though, these are things that are important. The power part of it, I told you, directly served, no cost will be passed on. And again, it's easy to say, I don't believe it. I think we should ask a lot of questions. A lot of questions have been asked. But when I hear it from TVA, we have the cheapest power in the country because of the Tennessee Valley Authority, but when they change all of their policies because they understand what's going on, and they either say, we have the ability to generate that amount of power or we don't, but they're the final arbiter, I actually personally trust TVA. Because they're not going to do something that's going to affect, by the way, Nashville, Huntsville, Atlanta, Knoxville, Chattanooga. Think of the footprint that TVA has. The water, this is extremely important. I have Jacob Corder from Warren County Water District. Everyone should know that. There is a limited amount of water. And a lot of communities have made a ginormous mistake. And maybe I'm glad someone didn't come here 6 years ago and ask us about it. I don't think we'd have made the mistakes, but I'm glad we didn't have the opportunity to make the mistakes. There's a data center in Oklahoma. It only uses 3 million gallons of water per day. Now, I want you to think through that, how devastating that would be to our community. Any project that comes here, if anyone will, because by the way, these standards are the right way to do it without saying no, has to have a closed loop system, and how that works is that water source is continually used in that closed loop, comes around, there is some evaporation. However, anything would come here using a closed loop system, even if it was a 500,000 square foot building, would be 1/50th of what the Corvette plant uses. And so what you do is you protect your water source by, sorry about your luck, if you're coming to Warren County, you have to meet all of these standards, including this one, and just so you know, it's much more expensive to have a closed loop system. So I want to just reiterate what we're doing legally to not say no, to not be in court. And finally, the sewer use, always important. Sewer is important. They're going to use the same amount as whatever it would be with washing their hands and flushing the commodes. They do not have sewer use other than that, which is standard. And by the way, that's not the same thing for a lot of other places. And so that's that closed loop. I'm not going to go through too much of that, but it does what it's for. If you had a data center, they generate a lot of heat. Those servers generate a lot of heat. You have to have some way to cool those down. So those closed loop system continually cools it down, warms the water up, takes the whole loop, cools back down again, and goes through. So, but this really, I talked about this, but this is why a 6-month moratorium to me personally, is very scary to me. It's the easiest thing to do in leadership and it would be one of the most reckless things this community's ever done. Each and every one of us have people in this community they love. I've got 5 kids, 2 grandchildren, and 2 on the way. And I can't fathom making decisions, and this court feels the same, that would do anything to affect their future in this community. I would love for each and every one of you, for all of your loved ones, if they don't live here, you need to encourage them to move to Warren County. It's the greatest community in the world, but this is how we attack problems. We don't not make decisions. We don't do things. We're going to lead. I will tell you right now, you talk about rolling the dice. We are rolling the dice in a ginormous way by not acting on this to ensure we continue to protect this community. I wanted to give everyone an opportunity to hear that. Well, I've got a few people here that want to talk, and I will tell you, I appreciate everyone coming, and I'm happy to have, I'm happy to hear any comments as well here shortly. But, and if you haven't been to fiscal court before, by the way, thank you. We're a constitutionally subset of Kentucky. We have to approve everything over $2,500. If you're confused about that, we do have a spending limit. So that's why we have those on the agenda. I appreciate everyone coming, and I want to be able to have an open and honest discussion, which we've been having. So I'd like to ask our good friend Meredith Wilson from the Chamber, who is our head economic developer, can probably give a little bit of information on that, what we're doing right now.
Thank you, Judge. As you talked about, data centers have become kind of a global conversation. A lot of people have referred to it as the next arms race, as more and more of us adopt technology every day, and there is a need for these centers in order to be able to keep up with that demand. We all have smartphones. We're all controlling things other than our phone from our phone. We're starting our car. We're controlling our house. Doing a lot of different things, and so all of that takes computing power. But with that said, like I said at City Commission last Tuesday night, not all data centers are created equal, just like not all manufacturers are created equal. And we have a long-standing relationship within this community where we have very in-depth conversations about what fits our community and what doesn't. And that is the same conversation that we have been having for quite some time about data centers. And making sure that, you know, if any data center ever winds up in Warren County, it's one that we would want, and it would be one that would add value to our community and not detract from that. So I, like Judge, applaud the Planning and Zoning Commission for all their hard work. Ben has done a great job in putting together some guide rails for us to make sure that we are protected, that we go in eyes wide open, just like we have on every project we've ever brought before Fiscal Court or City Commission, and in ensuring that we're doing what's in the best interests of our community. That said, I will say that, you know, there are some data centers out there that would be attractive, not that we're currently courting any of them. But there is one to the south of us in Gallatin, Tennessee. It is a metadata center. It's a couple $100,000 a year IT jobs. They have been a great community asset to them. They built in 2020 during COVID. They provided Chromebooks for all the students in the school district down there. They also provided free hotspots to the community so that the students could continue their schooling during COVID. And so something like that would align well with WKU and going for R2 status and a PhD in data analytics. And so, like I said, I think as a community, we just need to do what we've always done, keep the line of conversation open, look at opportunities as they come towards us, and then make an informed decision on whether or not it works for all of us collectively. But I greatly appreciate your time and happy to take any questions that you have.
Yeah, I'm happy to say, I mean, I'll just tell you, we are zero talks with anyone. I don't want anyone to leave here and say that we have purposely not entertained anything until we got restrictions in place to limit who would even talk to us. I don't want to, the Gallatin thing we've been down to, it's great, but I will tell you what they don't have. They don't have a decommissioning plan. Not saying anything's don't know if Meta and Facebook are going out of business, but we've learned from everyone. I think that's the best way to make an informed decision. You got to find out who's doing things right, and so we have been extremely cautious and methodical in this, but we have not entertained and we're not looking to. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page there. There was some misinformation going around about developments that are happening. There's none, and so we haven't had anything going on like that.
Yeah, we are not actively negotiating with anyone. In fact, I've received a couple calls about data centers that would not be applicable to our community, and have flat out told them we're not interested.
Yep. Thank you, Meredith. I'm going to have a couple people. Jacob Corda with Warren Water District, a great partner of ours. Obviously, I want Jake just to come and talk maybe about that closed loop system, but also a little bit of information about what we're doing.
Good morning, Judge. Yeah, so over the last year, I've learned more about data centers than I ever thought that I would be learning, and specifically about the water demands that they typically take. And the majority of the ones that you guys have probably heard of are the mega water users, or the ones that are more of the crypto mining and things like that. And what the closed loop system really does is reduce and be more of a conservation-based type of system that actually only uses water more so, if I can give an analogy, like a radiator for your car. You're filling up the car, it basically keeps that water running and keeps those servers cool. That's a big deal for me, and I'll tell you a little bit about my background as coming from Florida and the water sewer business, is that we have a very limited resource in Florida. So everything comes from the Florida and aquifer down there. So everything was conservation based. So when I started learning about this, I was very familiar with these type of programs. So whenever, we started talking about specifically talking with Ben and the judge about how a structure would be put in place for an ordinance supporting this, it was a no-brainer that the only thing that would be applicable to our community would be a closed loop system. So only type of water, the amount of water that it would be using on a regular basis would just be domestic flow, basically, like the judge had said. It would just be bathrooms, kitchens, cleaning, things like that. So they're not going to be major water users, and ultimately would probably be a very low water user for the community when it comes to commercial-based customers for Warren County Water. So in the sewer aspect of everything, it would be the same exact thing. It would be more domestic flows that the wastewater plant here in the community would be expecting. If they ever had to get any kind of permitting for anything that's associated with any kind of blowdown from those systems, they would have to get permitted at DOW, Division of Water here at the state, and then also get a pre-treatment permit here locally before they'd ever have to do that. So all of that would be vetted. So the environmental impact, which I think a lot of people are really concerned about, would be in front, and all the permitting would be done before they would ever even be able to go. Another final thing that I wanted to make sure everybody understand, if there was going to be any infrastructure improvements, none of the ratepayers here in Warren County are going to pay for it. They will pay for every single cent of any infrastructure upgrades that would have to take place to be able to support whatever they had at their facility.
Great. Thank you. Any questions for Jake?
I just want to make sure, we have a couple closed loop water systems already in place in Warren County, don't we? Does Western have a closed loop system?
That I'm not sure, to be honest.
I was told we had two.
Yeah, Western has one at one of their facilities, and so there's some homes that.
Point, it's not new technology.
No, it's not.
Right,
No,
it's
sir.
something that's been out
Just
there
the
for
scale,
some time.
it's just
Right,
much
it's a
larger.
scale difference.
Yes, sir.
But it's also one, thank you, Jacob, it's also one that there's many communities that if they could wind the clock back, they've made a serious error. I don't know how else to say it. They have absolutely devastated their community. I'm not kidding. There's a couple that have 3 million gallons per day. That is an insane number that they've agreed to. And there's no jobs worth that, none.
Well, I just want to make sure the community hears this new closed loop system, and they think, wow, it's brand new technology and so forth.
Oh,
the fact
yeah.
that it's not.
Yeah,
It's out there, and,
Right.
and it's very vetted, and that's one of the major factors in why we're trying to make sure we're protecting the community.
correct. Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, I got Drew from Warner Electric here too. I want to talk a little bit about the power and about TVA. Warner Electric's been a proud TVA distributor for probably 50 years, a long time. That's right. Longer than Drew's been around.
Yeah. Thank you, Judge. Good morning, everybody. Appreciate you all having me here. So from the Warner RCC perspective, just to take just kind of a moment, explain who we are. So yeah, we serve parts of 8 counties throughout South Central Kentucky. And so we're owned by the members that we serve. And so our first and foremost, our job is to protect the best interest of our members, much like the fiscal court is doing for the citizens of Warren County. And so to us, when a data center comes in looking to locate, it's no different than a large manufacturing center to us. Anything that's greater than what we call a contract demand of 5 megawatts requires system impact studies. and that everything that then, all those impacts that entity brings, they are responsible for paying. And so that's how we make sure that we are protecting our members, citizens of Warren County and others, so that they're not subsidizing those, major industrial centers, large loads, data centers, things of that nature. And so that's how our rates get protected.
Great. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Any questions for Drew? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
I want to read one thing to you, again, back to the severity, the restrictions we've put on. This is from June 2nd, and I want to appreciate Governor Andy Beshear, who is following our lead. I'm not going to let one come to Kentucky that would pass along the cost of energy to the people of that region, Governor said. Any data center that wants to look in Kentucky is going to have to pay for 100% of its own energy. Now, this was last week. I didn't mention it. Our Planning Commission has been working on this again. We worked with them for the last 8 months. They passed this at the end of March, and so this ordinance has been passed since then. Because we've had these text change amendments, and by the way, I would welcome anyone to read them. It's not just on, we tackled a few things. There is a mobile home changes. We wanted to change as well to protect the community, I'm just saying what it is, and so there's other things that were involved with that, so we appreciate them looking at that. Last thing I'll say, and then I'm going to open this up for the managers to ask any questions and have discussion. I think it goes without saying, if a community doesn't have planning and zoning, guess who wants to go there for that reason? They want to go and offer a farmer $120,000 an acre for $15,000 an acre land. And then they hope they can get it zone changed or whatever, and then the next thing you know, a community is dealing with what's going on. So when we talk about the proliferation of data centers, they're actively looking. What they don't want is what we're doing right now. What they do want is 100 counties in Kentucky that have not had the forethought to have planning and zoning. And I will say that. Happy to open the floor up to our masters. Any questions or comments?
Judge, if I might add a couple
Yes,
things.
please.
First of all, I want to make sure confusion from the people out there in the community. We have a joint city-county planning commission. So what affects, we're under the guise of both of us treat the same, and some people think it's the city, when the city did something that is different than the county. It's not, it's the same. We are one entity that regulates both city property and county property. So I commend what we're doing. Being a long-term member of this court, we've always led in the right way to do things that protect our community. And like you said it so well, we cannot legislate anybody, any business out of our community. We just can't do it, it's illegal. So what we're doing is making sure to tighten the rules up enough that when they want to look at us and they have to jump through 17,000 hoops to get what they want done, chances are they'll move on to somebody else. But like Meredith said, if an opportunity comes that's good for us, good for our community, helps protect our quality of life issues and so forth, then obviously we should look at that. But I would say in general that what we're doing today and what Planning Commission did back in March when they set these new standards in place, we're just affirming to everybody that we have a set of rules here now that we're going to follow. We're not going to pick on anybody in particular. You want to come to Warren County, here's what you got to do. And that's fair to everybody, and that's what ultimately we have to, as a governing body, we have to abide by how we act, and we can hold up in court. Ms. Chandler, I'm sure, always will tell us if we're right or wrong, and she thankfully is also part of the leading charge of the language that's going on in these ordinances, that we are going to do the right thing for Warren County and look after our long-term quality of life issues. And I'm not going to speak to anybody else on the fiscal court here, but I applaud what we're doing because it's the right thing to do. And sometimes when it's not popular, I remember how much criticism we got for, buying the land. The ITA was set up and so forth, a lot of criticism, but look how it's turned out. And we can go on down a list of other things that we've done as a leader in the community. And quite frankly, we are the leader in the state of Kentucky on how we handle things. So I'm proud to be what we're doing today and be happy to talk to anybody privately if they have any concerns.
Thank you.
Judge, I'd just like to commend everyone who's had a role to play in bringing us to this point, which I think is a great example of the way we try to operate all the time. Many people accuse not only us, but other entities of not planning. Well, this should be a prime example of the fact that we actually do plan. And we take all of these things into consideration to make sure that the right things are done at the right time for the benefit of the citizens of this community. So, be careful of what you read on the internet out there and what you believe. Get the facts before you formulate an opinion and go off the deep end.
Yeah, I always want to say, I think it's so important to hear, as we always do, I've had 1,000 conversations with people about it, and I appreciate everyone's perspective, and I think every person in this community should be heard, and accordingly. So thank you for that information.
Judge, I've talked to Ben, I've talked to Rachel, you and I have discussed it, the deputy judge have discussed it, and this is a very comprehensive ordinance. It will put the most structure that is available in the whole United States on data centers. And it will definitely protect our community. I really think that in the future, you will see communities across the United States adopt actions very similar to what we're doing right now.
Good points. We're already getting calls from around the country about some of the things that our planning commission did, so appreciate that. Okay.
Judge, I got something that I'd like to say. I'd like to say to the citizens of Warren County, I hear you loud and clear. You do not want data centers, nor do I. But this is how you accomplish that. Not with moratoriums, which is a form of just kicking the can down the road, as we've said. We need real, meaningful, comprehensive zoning requirements. Now, perhaps you're still thinking to yourself, wait a minute, we need a moratorium. Why didn't we just do a moratorium? A moratorium is, as we've said, is not the solution to stop data centers. A moratorium is needed by a local government or elected leaders who have no plan. We have a plan. It is to simply give them time, those that want to enact a moratorium, to play catch up, try to figure out what to do with the issue that they have at hand. I would like to thank Ben Peterson and the staff at Planning and Zoning on all their research and hard work. Thank you, Judge Gorman, for your leadership. Thank you to this fiscal court. We've been working on, as it's stated, these zoning restrictions for months. I guess you could technically say we've already been working through our moratorium behind the scenes already, ahead of the curve. We've been diligently working, and now we have the most comprehensive zoning restrictions on data centers that you're going to find. I'd also like to thank Mayor Todd Alcott and the commissioners that understood that a moratorium was not needed. They know what's important is passing these comprehensive zoning restrictions. And I want to acknowledge that all 4 city commissioners, along with the mayor, voted unanimously to pass these same restrictions in their first reading. True leadership is staying on top of issues like data centers and listening to constituents one-on-one in order to get things done to protect the county. And if you notice, it's not just the data center restrictions that we're putting in place today. There are many things in the text changes to our zoning that we're about to vote on. Protections for our subdivisions, protections for our community. And in fact, this is what true leadership looks like. You know, Warren County has been a trendsetter on so many things like the Trans Park, the TIF, the ITA, Right to Work, the Volunteer Fire Department Support System, the BG 2050 program that you mentioned, and now leading the charge on the most comprehensive data zoning restrictions in the country. Think about again our local economic growth and development, the fastest growing in the county in Kentucky. I would like to highlight our strong working relationship with the city, oftentimes called our secret sauce to success. And again, appreciate and thank Mayor Alcott, Commissioner Perigin, and Commissioner Hill working together with us to get these done, these comprehensive zoning restrictions. Not simply kicking the can down the road by requiring and insisting on a moratorium. And with that said, Judge, if it's appropriate, I'd like to make a motion to approve these zoning text changes.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor from Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Williams, to approve the first reading. You'll need two readings. First reading of ordinance 2616, approving zoning ordinance text amendments. That is all of those changes in that text amendment. Any other discussion or questions? Not, please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
ma'am.
Will the treasurer please report the claims?
General Fund, $1,348,191. Road Fund, $204,994. Jail Fund, $469,949. Stormwater Fund, $101,977. Federal Forfeiture Fund, $770. Happy to answer any questions.
Motion to pay our bills.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
ma'am.
Before we get to the department heads, we have a lot of visitors, and I'm always happy to hear from the citizens. I will say this, before, and I'm welcome to have anyone come and speak. Before you do that, I think we've got a pretty open form of government, and my door is always open, but I would encourage you, if you're not aware who your magistrate is, today would be a good day to get to know that, but also to reach out to your elected officials to speak to them. So I want to always encourage that civic engagement, so that's great. But I'm also happy to have any Warren County citizens. If they're here and would like to speak, they're welcome to at this point. Or, that's fine, or, come on forward. Oh, okay. Yes, that's no, I don't, it doesn't, I've got a 2:30 appointment. But before you do so, we always do, when you do that, just introduce your name and your address for the record. But again, we'll also be here afterwards. Sometimes, you get in the crowd and some people don't, I understand that as well. Please feel free to speak to any of the people back there. We'll be here if you want to talk individually. I always like for people to have that opportunity to. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just,
Sir, what's your name and your address?
yeah, my name is Zach Morris, and I live on 1713 Glendale Drive.
Thank you.
And I wanted to go ahead and appreciate, I don't want to cause you guys trouble. I know that you've heard enough. But I understand the zoning resolutions that you guys are putting forth, and I agree that a moratorium would not be the ideal solution. I just wanted to give a perspective that may not be considered. And I use AI extensively. I'm a heavy AI user. I'm not a big fan of it, but it's one of those things that is rapidly, encroaching on every aspect of humanity, unfortunately. And my big, what I'd like for you guys as representatives of us citizens to keep in mind is the whole motor that AI is pretty much managing, or the engine behind AI is pretty much autonomy. And so for every 5,000 square feet of a data center, there's only one employee. So if you compare that to any other metric of any of the other heavy industrial complexes, it's far lower. So while I appreciate everything that you're doing, and I don't even think that we're in conflict here. I think that you guys are like, well, if you want a data center, let's make it as difficult as possible. But I guess, I would just encourage any further restrictions, or I'm not sure if it's even possible within the planning to allow for a compensation for every data center square foot of natural zoning or something like that, that I would love if we could somehow implement some kind of way to really make data centers pay for everything that they're going to be, all the natural resources in this area that they're going to be consuming. And also I would also mention, these are the companies that many of the CEOs of these companies, Facebook or Meta and Anthropic, they're really interested in reducing the amount of cost that they have to pay for labor from their employees. So I guess I behoove you all for the strict zoning that you've presented, and any further strict zoning, any way that we could essentially avoid having a huge, ugly building that just takes up a lot of energy. Any way that we could somehow incentivize the equal square footage of, protected wildlife or something along those lines. Anything like that, I think that would be a fair trade-off for the citizens here in Warren County to be able to kind of preserve the integrity of, one of the things that I love about here, I'm not originally from here, but my family is just, you come here and you see the lightning bugs, you see that this is God's land, and it's a powerful feeling once you've seen a lot of the other places in the world that we are really blessed, and that is one of the things that distinguishes us and makes us so much better than any other place in the world. So I just wanted to encourage further restrictions and further demands for anyone that would consider, changing, permanently altering this beautiful landscape. So,
Great. Thank you for the comments. I'll say, I'm not going to address thank you. I'm not going to address everyone, but it's a great point about the jobs. One thing about economic development, and Meredith is the expert in it. So when we are talking about the Corvettes, if the Corvette plant came here today but was fully automated and had 2 jobs, we're not interested. That doesn't help our society. So we do have the ability, and I will tell you, our economic development efforts are about quality of life and job creation. And so it's a good point. We've also seen these where Meredith knows this for a fact. I've said, don't ever think we're going to get a 200,000 square foot building with 3 dudes on fork trucks and think we're going to be okay with that. Now, she knows better. She would never do it, but we're not doing it. These are great points. Those are part of the decisions that have to be made. So just so you know, just because we have these, we still are the final arbiter to say thanks, but no thanks. But we have to put these in place. It's a great thing. I'll start here so you can all get out in one way, but that's fine. So I'm going to step it. Yep, it's fine. And then right after this.
Hi, my name is Amy Deputy, and I live at 1274 Beach Bend Road. And I just want to thank all of you all for your work and your diligence and your forethought and your planning. I think the one thing that I haven't heard addressed is the noise. I live 2 miles from Beach Bend Park. And I know the beauty of no noise. So from November to March, I hear it is the quality of life to which everyone refers to. And then I know that the other 3 days a week, I look up noise ordinances, I consider calling. So the Cave City project, for example, it's the size of 34 football fields. With the current plan that you all have developed, there's a 1,500-foot border from the building to the property line.
To residential, 500 foot for the property line.
Okay. So what do we do about that noise? And with the closed loop system, you're going to need a lot more, somebody help me with the tech, you're going to need a lot more equipment to make that function. So the noise portion to me is a really enormous consideration. You know, I don't want 10 turbine jets running 24/7 2 miles away. And the noise can be heard up to 2 miles away. So that 1,500-foot line, you might as well live like next door to I-65. So I just want to, as someone that has lived with intermediate and interruptive noise my whole life, I have, because I grew up out there. I've heard funny cars my whole life, And I just think it's a really, really important considerations. There's very few little knots in Bowling Green left where you're not overrun with the sounds of I-65, Beach Bend, traffic, and it's a resource. The noise resource is something that we just take, we don't even pay attention half the time, except when you stop and you can hear the silence, and then you notice it. And I just really encourage that piece of the puzzle go into your planning, because it is a beautiful place to live. And I want to be able to walk out into Kariakis Park and any other place in Bowling Green and not hear a hum in the background.
Thank you, Ms. Deputy. Me too. I just learned that Beach Bend is loud. Thank you. I can hear it at my house in town, by the way. But I think that's extremely, yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
Oh, no. Those are extremely valid concerns, and thank you so much for that. It's why we have done some road trips to other ones, because, again, who wants to hear that waking up? You're out there and whatever and listening to that. So I'll wait till we're done, but I can have Ben speak the noise. There's not a current noise ordinance in this community, as you would know. And so the 1,500 foot, we should also realize there's very, by doing this as well, there's very few places, if one ever went, could go.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you.
Yep, but we'll address that as well. Thank you for that. Again, we love I appreciate the comments. All right, yes. All right. I haven't forgotten you in the back. She's very, very patient. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Bobby Phelan, and I live at 1424 Cove Drive. And one of my issues was, as the previous speaker mentioned, the sound. Now, also, I live on Cove Drive, which is over by Lambkin Park, so there are sinkholes. I have one on the lot next door to me. So there is a huge amount of water that would be running off from these large facilities and stuff. So water management,
yes.
We already have problems with sinkholes in this area. The huge amount of diverted water would be an issue as far as sinkholes opening up in unexpected places.
Yes,
also with the noise pollution, and I have familiarized myself with this for quite some time. Also with the noise pollution, it appears that a lot of it is from ventilation, but also from the backup power systems that they use to store power for emergency shutdowns and stuff. So that is something that, and noise travels in this area. Living in Western Kentucky, we had noise come up through the hills, through the hollows and stuff, so it travels a long ways.
Yes, ma'am.
And light pollution also. These facilities do have a lot of light, and people nearby are disturbed by that, as well as animals and wildlife, birds.
Yes. All great points. You've done your homework, and I appreciate that. You mentioned something I'm going to go ahead and mention right now as well. I think there's some misinformation on not what you said, but we worry about the power, and the TVA's policy now is if there is a high, let's say it's July 20th, and it's 106 degrees out, everyone's using their air conditioners, a high peak demand, guess who gets cut first?
Yeah.
They do, which is why they have backup power.
Exactly.
And they are usually diesel generators now. There are some advancements in electric systems. They're using electric batteries to run these backup powers. That's coming as well. Obviously, technology is changing daily, but you're exactly correct. Now, there are some overlay in some of our parks that have things that we can control, and being able to turn those on, do whatever at certain times of day is in the purview as well of we have some members here from the ITA that runs all of our industrial development. And so that's great points and can be addressed as well. So
Thank
thank
you
you so very much. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. You all
Judge,
seem
can-
like you're protecting us.
Can I add one more thing just real fast? Because it speaks to, as what she just mentioned, where we in Warren County are ahead of some other areas. We have building codes and we have things that any industry with stormwater and those type of things, they've got lots of hoops to jump through during the construction process of things and protections for our community.
We do. I will say a lot of people have not been out to. It's public property, so public roads. Let me say that. Don't go up in the guard shack, but the Trans Park is open. It's public roads. If you've never been out there, I would suggest you drive around to see what's out there, and you can see what $6 billion of development and 4,000 jobs looks like. It's the most environmentally friendly, advanced industrial park in Kentucky. Had a lot of things going on, and that's why it's there. So you're welcome to come out there. So, yes, ma'am. Do you still want to speak in the back row? Sorry, I've overlooked you 17 times. I thought maybe now I could do it. No, I tried to get you, but everyone's jumping in front of you. That's fine. And again.
Hello, my name's Elizabeth Shepard. I live in Warren County, the 1116 Memphis Junction Road. And I really appreciate hearing about and someone else caring about the sound, but also there's a vibration that happens with the sound I hear. And that could be impactful. So we may want to make the distance between the people and the data center larger, or at least consider that.
Okay.
Also, emissions. Are we covering any pollution that might come out of the data centers? And that's it.
Well, those are great. Those are fantastic questions. All things done. As far as the emissions, it has to go through the Kentucky standards for that. The EPA, everyone's involved with that when it happens.
Good.
I am not. That's the one thing I have no problem saying I'm not the expert on when he talks about emissions from these. It's usually the humming, the water, and the power. But anything like that has to be approved as well through the state of Kentucky. So
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Tony Nelson, 6301 Richardsville Road. I actually don't necessarily have an issue with everything that we've discussed. They've done an amazing job making sure everything's zoned properly and able to take care of that. The only issue I have, I'm going to expand on the first gentleman that spoke. It's not only just about the amount of people that work there, it's where the jobs are. It's just like a factory. Everything goes to a distributor. You have employees that are working in different states. They're not going to be hired locally from Bowling Green. So I don't think it's a bad thing, but I also don't think it's a good thing because you're not bringing those jobs for the amount of square footage you're taking up. You could have small businesses and it not just be a payment to the city or county for the lack of employees, but you're affecting people for jobs and that actually spend money within small businesses.
Thank you very much for the comments. Yes, ma'am. I want to make sure I'm understanding something. Do you think this would only be for people that don't currently live here? Was that?
Most of the jobs are remoted in because there's not actual workstations there. It's just giant servers. So you have the few people to upkeep it and manage it, but most of the people are remoting in from other states.
Yeah, and I would respectfully disagree with that. If we're looking at anything, it's going to physically be working here in town. So I appreciate that, but I'm gonna have to default to our economic development experts who don't agree with that summation.
So how many employees are supposed to be working there? It should have been.
I'm gonna ask you, do you think, I might as well just ask this, do you think all data centers are the same?
No,
Okay,
absolutely
thank you.
not.
I appreciate
But all
the
data
comments.
centers do the same function.
Correct. I appreciate the same comments. I would encourage you to take a road trip to Gallatin, Tennessee if you think there's no one working in one. That's all I can go on is what they're doing. So all great comments.
All those things that
The
you
last thing we
posted.
want to do is get in a situation where no one's working here. I think I told you, if that was the case, they're not coming to Warren County. Our interest is economic development, and that means jobs so each and every one of us can have a future. And so I appreciate those concerns. I can promise you, no one's coming to this community that doesn't have jobs. That's it. We don't need to have a building occupied that doesn't have jobs, and so it's a good point. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Heidi Melke. I just started learning about this recently because
Sure.
my friend was really passionate about it. She couldn't be here today, but I have a couple questions. And I live at 2425 Thoroughbred Drive.
Thank you.
Would it like raise the cost of water and electricity due to competition for those resources?
Okay, it's a great question. Unregulated, in other communities around here, I'm going to stop talking about them. I love everyone, but yes, in Warren County, no. We put these restrictions in place so that all costs are borne upon the developer, not the end user, not the citizens of Warren County. So that's a great question.
Thanks for answering that. The other question is, I'm sure this, I don't know if you want to answer this, but do you know what locations have, if there are any that have the same like distance and energy regulations proposed today for Warren County? To kind of compare what people are saying about that in that area.
In other areas of the country, I'm sorry.
Well, is there anyone who has the exact same regulations? Okay, so gotcha.
And just to tell you, a lot of people are going toward this. I'm telling you, the state of Kentucky's following this. It might not sound like a big thing. Thank you for the question. The decommissioning thing is ginormous. It takes the risk. It's, what was old Ronald Reagan said, trust but verify. I'm not taking the word for anyone. We're putting those places, so it's a great question. But as of today, this will be number one in America.
Okay, and I also really appreciate the comments about the frequencies that we don't hear. And so if there could be an output regulation on that, I think I would definitely, I definitely agree with that. I lived across from a power plant once, and that's actually why I wear these. This deflects 200 wavelengths. And I actually was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome after I lived across from there. And so I started looking things up. And after I had this, I had all my energy back. So I know that there's definitely that to just let you know about too.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for that very much. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, members of the board. My name is Julia Kinsler. I live at 386 Roseberry Circle. And today I'm asking you to not approve any future data center development projects. I believe this is not a partisan issue. Securing our water supply, protecting our utility grid, and preserving our local environment is a deeply bipartisan priority that unites this entire community, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent. None of us want to see our community's infrastructure permanently compromised for corporate server farms. And right now, as a country, we're on track to face a serious water crisis, yet no independent, comprehensive environmental or water studies have been completed for this project here in Warren County. Neighboring communities like Edmondson and Cave City have had the wisdom to pass a one-year moratorium because their leaders have admitted that there is still too much to learn. Why are we rushing to approve a massive resource-intensive industry when we don't even have the data to know what it'll do to our county? And also, Don't let the developers hide behind the phrase closed-loop system to claim that this project is environmentally safe. While a closed-loop system does reduce daily water consumption, it creates a massive environmental trade-off. It requires drastically more electricity to run continuous industrial chillers and mechanical fans, which heavily strains our electrical grid. Furthermore, closed-loop systems must regularly flush out chemical-heavy wastewater to prevent pipe corrosion. They do not eliminate the constant noise pollution from 24/7 cooling operations, and they still require hundreds of thousands of gallons of hazardous diesel fuel to be stored on site for backup generators. A closed-loop system is a corporate Band-Aid on a massive, destructive industrial operation. Introducing a 24/7 industry user into our county without independent cumulative impact studies is a risk we cannot afford to take. Your primary legal obligation is to really protect the health, safety, and future of the people that live here, not the corporate timelines of technology giants. I urge this board to prioritize our community's survival, listen to your constituents, and vote no on future projects. Thanks.
Great. Thank you so much for the comments. Appreciate that greatly. It's fine. I'll go ahead and then, yes, sir. In the green shirt, yes, sir. Thank you.
I'm Ron Kistler. I live at 906 Park Hills Court in Bowling Green. I think what I'm missing here is a sense of community. What I hear is that those of you who have been involved in this have done an awesome job of research, of finding out what's needed, of putting regulations in place. I heard that also from the commission. The problem is a lot of us haven't done that. We're not in the same place you are. I heard about this about a week ago. At that point, I didn't even know quite what a data center was. And when I did start to look at things and do some research, a lot of issues came up. The noise one apparently is a biggie. And I haven't heard it addressed, and I didn't hear it addressed at the city commission thing. I think one of our main resources here as a community, and yes, we're leading in a lot of things, but the main resource is we're a community. And it's not important enough just for all of you who have done the research and done a great job of it to be convinced that it's a good thing. We all need to be convinced. So the next step then, moratorium, well, we're not saying we're not open for business. We're saying, wait a minute, on the data center. Corvette Museum, okay. Aluminum plant, okay. Transpark, okay. But what about a data center? I think as a community, we need to have time and feel like we're convinced that we're not going to ruin our quality of life, which has happened in some other communities. Maybe not this one, because maybe we've been careful and you've come up with a great set of regulations, but we need to feel it too, we as a community.
Great comments. I appreciate that very much. And I always like to remind everyone there's 150,000 citizens in our community. Having a 3,000 person public forum to give information like this, I'm always open to the give and take and the information, and I'm looking, we always look for more ways. Each of us have spoken to hundreds of constituents about this and should, which is why I've done this, but I will tell you right now, again, I'm not disagreeing. I appreciate your passion and thank you, because unless we have that, we're not going to have the type of community we all want to have. But I mean, you don't have to take my word for it, but a moratorium is reckless. because of what we already have in zoning. Now, a moratorium in Edmonson County, that's probably, I love the people of Edmonson County, so I got to be cautious about what I'm saying, but they should have a moratorium because they have no rules. And if you go around and hear all the issues within 20 counties around here, A, they're going those counties for a reason because they don't have rules. And B, then it is a lot of pressure. If someone came up today and said, we're going to put this, whatever here, and we have no rules to stop it, we're in trouble. So I appreciate your concerns. We're always open to that, but that's why today is about, we cannot roll the dice of what we're doing. And it's not disrespectful to you. We can't roll the dice by allowing, again, an existing building. Don't think I'm kidding. Monday morning, we could have a data center in Warren County. I'm not scaring, it's factual. I just want to talk of facts. I don't want to talk about how emotional it gets, whatever. I'm talking factual, because then we'll have emotion. Then it'll be too late, and then we got a problem. That's all I'm saying. But I appreciate your care for the community as well.
Judge, can I clarify that statement you just made? That's if we did not have these restrictions in place.
Yes. I mean, if we don't do anything, you can't do a moratorium with these restrictions. These restrictions are what the moratorium is. I can, without having a big sign that says no data centers, we have just had this sign that says do this ordinance by that, so. Yes,
Your
sir.
Honor, Judge, I'll add one more thing before the last speaker, if I might. And I appreciate the passion, but what we've done today is to make sure data centers may not look at Warren County.
Yeah.
You're all making assumptions that one's coming and we're going to have to deal with it. The fact of it is, we've made it difficult and made it in such a manner that people hopefully will look other places. And I think that's the key difference between us and other counties. I agree, a moratorium is reckless and to be challenged in court and all the things that go along. We want to do it the right way, as we've always done it the right way, but I think the fact that ordinances that we're passing will hopefully a data center will never consider Warren County, be our hope. But this makes it definitely more difficult to.
Yes, sir.
We just want to be convinced.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Bill Travis. I live at 1246 State Street. My question is, could you describe to us the enforcement regime for these rules and regulations?
I'll have Ben come up. The enforcement?
The enforcement.
Well, for starters, people don't like planning and zoning for this reason. Yes, you're not allowed to do, you can't just show up one day and have a new building under construction. We can absolutely do, from a legal standpoint, cease and desist. There's no ability to go around these. Is that what you were asking or something like that? Yeah, it's a good question, but maybe Amy can speak to that. If someone violates, I think that's a great question. If someone violates the ordinance and tries to get around that in the community.
Well, they'll have to be zoned correctly, and Ben may want to speak to this and talk about the different levels, but they would have to first comply with all of our requirements in order to get a building permit, in order to get properly zoned. They have to go through many, many steps. Does that help answer your question?
And one thing, I'm so sorry. One thing, it's a great question. One thing I've failed to mention is in our industrial parks, we own the property. So there's no going to my buddy Jack Dobbs and buying his farm. If someone does it, it's not zoned. No one in this room or no one in the community owns property that it could go in, that they own it, they can make the decision. And I'm not trying to control everything, but we have the final say-so. So when the community says we don't want, these are decisions, this is what Meredith does every day with the Chamber of Commerce, because they have to come through us. It's a great question, which is on a totally different thing. Not only is that a great question, it's a great question on the other zone changes we just made to protect the community and other things as well. But yes, sir, keep going. Sorry about that. Just want to answer that.
So If there were a data center here, it would be in the industrial park?
Yes, it has
It would have to be located there?
Has to be, it absolutely has to be heavy industrial zoned. And that map, if you, a lot of people have it, it's okay. I didn't do it till, a couple years ago, but our City County Planning Commission, CCPC, their website is a valuable resource, has all kinds of maps and information you can see where, because there's only certain place it can go, if one even came. So a great point. There could never be one, I think there's a big open field somewhere in town. It's not zoned that way. There could never be one, a farmer who thought the best thing he could do is make some money in Rich Pond. It's not possible. Someone can buy the property, they're gonna find out the hard way how we do business, because then they're just gonna be out of luck.
So should they build and then break the regulations, they could be shut down immediately?
Correct, but they will never get we have building permits, we have electrical permits, we have all of these things, and no one is going to build something without a violation and a lawsuit. That will never happen, primarily because we own the property. That's what the protection is. We didn't do that to protect it, but it is one of the great benefits. So it's a great question, but no one has the ability to build a building, put this in here, not in heavy industrial, even get approval for heavy industrial. We've got some members here from the ITA board. They oversee that entire park, and there are, again, our professionals who look at that and do it. I want to say, well, go ahead. I'm going to say something.
No,
that's a great. Those are great questions. I think people need to understand. I appreciate these questions, because that's how people can understand. It doesn't bother me that someone says, I don't trust that. That's fine. We want to factually say about, here's the roadblocks and here's what's legally has to happen for that to happen. So it's not Doug Gorman's decision. I wouldn't want anyone to have that ability to do it. I want to have those roadblocks in place to make sure that if something comes here, it's the right thing. And if they don't, we're fine too. So just so everyone knows, we're not looking for anything. We're not actively looking for anything. We're not looking for another auto manufacturer. That's not how, we don't have to go and try to find that, but those are great questions. We have the roadblocks in place to ensure that doesn't happen and protect the community. That's a great question. Thank you so much for that too. Thank you, sir. Okay. Happy to have it. Yes, sir, Mr. Mefford.
Good morning. Thanks for the opportunity to address the court. Appreciate all the work that's been done on this.
Thank you. Name and address there.
Brian Mefford. I'm at 3832 Mount Lebanon Church Road. And that's in Alvaton. I have a lot of interest in this entire discussion, but I'm going to put on my hat of small business owner this morning. We hear a lot of talk in this discussion and this analysis about Meta and the AI companies, Anthropic, et cetera, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg. I just want to encourage you to continue the work, because it's not about, to me, any of those. It's about White Squirrel Brewery, to be quite blunt, where I'm a co-owner. And if you've never owned a business or haven't known others well, I just want to tell you it's challenging to run a small business anywhere in the country, especially right now. You might have noticed that there are bars and restaurants that have been struggling for the last couple of years, and some that have gone out of business, unfortunately. That's not uncommon. And I can tell you just very openly and honestly from our brewery standpoint, we sort of are right there on breakout mode where we're going to grow like gangbusters, or we might be here having a different conversation with the court in in a month or two. It's tough. So that's we're in that state, and I know other small businesses are too. We're in that state with the current dynamics, the current population of Warren County. So as a small business owner, I, again, thank you for the work and the time that goes into this type of exercise. I want to see more jobs. I want to see more people spending money in our community. I want to see them spending more money at White Squirrel Brewery. If I hadn't said White Squirrel Brewery yet, go check it out. I can tell you, you mentioned the Trans Park, and I have an interest there too, but at our brewery, there are so many people who leave the Trans Park, businesses that bring their teams down there for strategy sessions from the Trans Park. This is not just theory. People who are in this county, working in this county, spend their money in this county. I would like to see more of that, not less. Today, I believe, Judge, is the opening of the World Cup, so I'll end on a soccer analogy.
Thank you.
By the way, White Squirrel kickoff party tonight at the World Cup.
Where's that at again?
White Squirrel.
Okay, guys.
To me, what you guys have done here is the word pragmatic comes to mind. You are in these regulations, and I should say, call out Ben too for leading this work and being one of the best resources in the country, and that's no exaggeration. We're blessed to have his mind and his team working on this, but you've come out with regulations that give us better shots on goal. We get to make, you get to make, the community gets to make the decisions of where we're going to put that ball and if we're going to kick it or not. The alternative, when I hear moratorium, I hear let's pick up our ball and go home. We're not going to play this game. So again, as a business owner, I thank you. And I just look forward to hopefully being a part of this as we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other small business owners who want to weave that business into data center?
I think he set a record for missing the most time.
I'm trying to follow it, but I was almost there. No, that's fine. Thank you, Brian. So, again, please, I would just encourage everyone to stay engaged. I think the greatness of our country is having a representative democracy and having people be able to share, especially face-to-face with their elected representatives, because at the end of the day, we all are citizens of this community as well, and we want to know what is going on out there. But I appreciate everyone's input, and again, you're welcome anytime at Fiscal Court on the second and fourth Thursdays of the month at 9 o'clock, so we love having people here. With that, I do have, if any department heads have any update for us, I will say, well, the sheriff couldn't wait long. Oh, fine, okay, that's good. I'm sorry, I'm throwing him under the bus, but thank you. If you have not been to, can I just say something very quickly as well for the citizens here? If you have not been out to Sugar Maple Square, you don't need an appointment, just go out there and please check out the sheriff's new office out there. It's fantastic and a great benefit to this community. I'm so appreciative of this fiscal court for investing in the safety and future of that. So I hope they like the new digs out there. Any other department head? Say anything? Okay. Squire McWhirter?
It's all good, sir. Continue your prayers for Terry Hendricks. He's still in the hospital.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I am going to say I would ask the entire community to be praying for Terry. He's in He's got a tough road in front of him. A great man to serve his community well, so thank you for that. Mr. Aldridge?
Thank you, Judge. I would like to remind or let everyone know there's a big celebration in our nation just a few days away. July 4th, our 250th birthday of our nation. Bowling Green, Warren County will be celebrating USA 250 down at Circus Square Park on July 4th. That is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's going to be kind of a classic carnival-style patriotic event. There's patriotic programs at noon. And again, that is a free event, July 4th from 10 until 2 down at Circus Square Park. You're laughing, Judge. You want to share?
Oh, I'm excited about the opportunity to give a speech at noon, dressed as Abraham Lincoln. So, all right, keep going. Squire Cummings?
A couple things. June 20th, Boyce is having their tractor show and cakewalk. If you've never been out to Boyce, it's a unique experience. Don't forget Father's Day is coming up June 21st, so if you still have your father or you are a father, just congratulations to you. I want to remember, and I hope I don't bring up any tears or anything this morning, but just the loss of Terry Hale. I don't think we've ever addressed it here in court, and we want to pass our condolences, continue on to Brenda and to Amy and their whole family he was a great man, and just want to thank him for being who he was, and continue prayers for their family as they mourn that loss. And on a personal note, two quick things. My mother-in-law, which I can say is a great mother-in-law, is having a birthday on June 14th. When Daisha and I first started dating, she said no way in heck she wanted her to be with me, but here it is 33 years later, and she likes me a little bit, so it's a good thing. And most importantly, my youngest child, Matthew, is turning 19 years old on June 17th, and I'm proud of him and what he's becoming, and just happy birthday, Matthew.
Happy birthday. Squire Lasley?
Don't have much, but I'll remind folks that concerts in the park begin Friday under new management. I believe Skypack plays a role in it this year, but it's a good opportunity to help build community, so thank you.
Squire Lawrence?
Yeah, Judge, I'd just like to mention it one more time. I'm really glad that we got out ahead of this thing on the data centers, to be honest with you. The restrictions that we put out have made it extremely difficult for a data center to meet the criteria that it would have to come to Warren County. And that's the truth. And if it did meet it, it would most likely be a positive and not a negative. I believe that in the future, like I said, that we will see this kind of a proposal and this kind of ordinance be taken into effect on many, many, many communities that have the ability to do so. But if I lived in a county or a place where I didn't have planning and zoning or I didn't have protections, I'd be very, very, very concerned because there's absolutely nothing to stop them from coming, and a moratorium won't do it either because there are legal concepts and legal problems with the moratorium.
Thank you. Squire Williams?
Thank you, Judge. All I have is just a thank you to the park system, Warren County Parks. Worked hard after the rain to get the baseball fields and softball fields in order that the tournaments that are going on can still go on. I know I've got a 6-year-old that's playing coach beach ball, and he was happy to be out there sliding around in the dirt last night.
That's right.
So thank you to the parks. Great job.
Stephen?
Thank you, Judge.
Great. Thank you again, Stephen, for the hard work for the last 3 months on the budget. It's a fantastic work, and I appreciate the hard work. Ms. Chandler?
As many of you may know, on May 22nd, we lost my father unexpectedly, Terry Hale, and it has been just a heartbreaking thing for my entire family. He was married to my mother for 63 years. He was the dad of 3, granddaddy of 6, and great-granddaddy of 1, and the leader of our family. Over the past 3 weeks, the outpouring of love and prayers and kindness and flowers and meals and cards and texts and visits has overwhelmed our family in the most wonderful way. The individuals who stood in line for over 2 hours to tell us wonderful stories of how my dad started them painting and how they have a thriving business. How he took a 19-year-old and taught them how to roof a house, and they have a thriving business. Taught carpentry, development, financial assistance, you name it, and my dad did it. He was an unsung hero, and we miss him so very much. He was so proud of everything that he did, all of the people he got started in business, but the most important thing in his life was his family. And we are blessed by his memory. And I just want to thank everyone for everything that you've done for our family. We would ask that you continue to pray for us, because we know, this is a funny story. My dad always wanted his properties to look fantastic. And we had him scheduled to have his driveway blacktopped. And they came and they had it prepped, but they didn't get it blacktopped yet. And so they did it last week. And Chris Higgins said, Amy, gosh, I'm so sorry that your dad didn't get to see his driveway blacktop, because we know how proud he was of all those properties. And I said, my dad's streets are paved with gold, because I know he's with Jesus. And so I know he's looking down saying, that blacktop looks pretty good, but I got you beat on this stuff with this streets of gold. But we praise Jesus that he is with him, but please keep our family in your prayers, because we sure miss him. We're the ones hurting, not him. So thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Crystal?
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Brian?
I just have one quick thing. South Warren High School's softball team is heading to Lexington this afternoon. They've got a 3 o'clock send-off out there at the high school. They are 43-0, I believe, heading to the state semifinals. And I know several of those young ladies from my time at South Warren, and they are fantastic representatives of this community. So hope they win these next 2 games and bring home a state championship.
Well, they're already tied state record most wins in a season.
Right.
So if they win 2 more, they're going to set a record that will probably never be broken.
They're fantastic. Great season. Yes, Amy, thank you for that. Your dad was a titan in this community. And you were exactly right. His influence on your family is unbelievable, and so the success of each and every member. But what he did was he was always there for each member of the family, to the point of Amy's mom doesn't know how to use the TV, and so I think you should pray for her as well. So, and that's not an exaggeration, but what a great loss and a great man. And Amy, we're here for you always. If there's nothing else to come before the court,
Motion to adjourn.
a motion to adjourn. We are adjourned. Thank you.